You ask the questions and we've got the answers just for you. So you're going to want to stick around for these frequently asked questions and a life hack at the end. Hi, this is Denise from Vivid Lifestyle Realty, your go-to source for all things real estate and lifestyle in beautiful Corona, California and the surrounding areas. And today we're going to do some frequently asked questions. You guys ask the questions about real estate and etc. and we provide the answers for you. A lot of times many people will ask the same questions, so we take those questions and we really like to give you a kind of a detailed answer so that you can be well educated and we can provide value for you. And we love when people use us as a resource, or our channel as a resource, or our website as a resource. So please, if you need anything, we're here for you. You can always reach out and talk to us or text us, email us. But we like to do a broad video so that you guys can just, if you have a question, you can go on YouTube, ask it, and hopefully we pull up so you can see a great answer. And so one of the most asked questions is people say, well, you have closing costs and you put it in escrow, and we open escrow and these things. And a lot of times real estate agents or realtors don't realize that, you don't know what a CMA is, or what exactly closing costs are and escrow is. And like, if you are working with us, we are very, from out of the gate, emails explaining exactly what to do. We explain what to do. I give you updates on properties of the surrounding areas. If you're selling, we do a lot for buyers. So we do really dive into that. We want to make sure that you're really educated. And same thing with contracts, marketing, everything that we do, you're gonna know. And if you have any questions, I ask several times a week to make sure if there's anything that you don't understand. I never want you signing anything, or I don't want you even going about your day saying, what do we owe? What is this? What fee is this? You're going to know, because I think that's really, really important. And before I became a real estate agent, I was in the educational field. I worked with special education, and I love them. Oh, I love kids and pets so much. And all of my clients too, super love to help people and help animals. But anyway, we really like to make sure you're educated. That's huge, because there are so many contracts in California. There's so many changes. It's one of the biggest purchases of your life, and you should be well educated and you should know. And if not, you should be able to ask 1,000 questions to your real estate professional to get their expertise and the answers that you want to find out. And if there's some strange thing and you ask me and I don't know, I will find out from an expert and get back to you as quickly as possible. So like I said, we like everyone to be well educated. So we're going to roll into what are closing costs, and then part B is what is escrow. So we're going to kind of explain those things in detail. Obviously, when you're going through a transaction, like I said, your real estate professional should massively go through those things with you. You should even know your lender usually will give you a pretty decent estimate of what the cost will be and what you owe. And even to your lender, your title company, anything. If you have a question, ask for sure, because you want to know what's going on when it's your home that you're selling, or your home that you're buying, and your money, and you want to know exactly what that's going towards. And there's some things changing in the real estate industry pretty drastically coming up here. And if you have any questions about the news you're hearing about NAR and the National Association of Realtors or different things, please reach out to, and we will definitely talk to you one-on-one until everything's set in stone. I don't like to be that person that blasts this and that to get reactions. I want to give you factual information, and until the Department of Justice or any other judge makes that solidified, I don't like to talk about it too much. But I am there for you. We are there for a resource. If you need anything, please reach out and I can go over that one-on-one with you for sure. So closing costs, we're going to start with that. Let me pull up my screen here. So closing costs, you're going to say at the end of a transaction, you're going to get your statement from the lender, and you're going to have to pay closing costs. Now, with buyers specifically, there's going to be inspection fees, like a home inspection fee usually is paid for by the buyer. And if you want a roofing inspection or any other kind of inspection, that usually comes, out of your pocket as well as a buyer. And then you obviously have down payment and closing cost, and there's a lot of different things like appraisal fees, title insurance, escrow fees that are also part of your, so in a transaction, although sellers pay a decent amount of fees as well. As a buyer, you generally are paying more because you're paying your down payment and a little bit of extra closing costs. So a lot of things go into the closing costs. It's at the table. You should get an estimate of what that will be. So usually it's they range from about 2 to 5% of the purchase price. We find generally more like 2 to 4%. And California and a lot of different places in the country lenders do offer down payment assistance, and they also offer closing cost assistance. There's also programs like FHA loans. If you don't have a lot of money saved or you're a first-time home buyer, that's a really great program. We just did an FAQ. You don't need 20% down to purchase a home. You can go as little as 3.5%. So just getting prepared and knowing these things will help you pay for and have the money for your closing costs. And like I said, you can always talk to your realtor, and we always go over in general, like pretty much not in general, in depth of what are going to be some of those fees, and then you should get a statement from your lender as an estimate, and then at the end they'll figure out everything exactly, and it should be pretty close to your first estimate, but sometimes things slightly change. And and then there's prorated things like HOAs and taxes and different things that are added into that as well. So that's something to know. So they're just fees that you pay at the end, like appraisal fees and different things like that at the end. Usually inspections you're going to pay for right then. So in California, they can range depending on the size of your home and who you go with. We like to make sure we go with a lot of modern digital people that do drone footage and different things, so they give you the best inspection possible. But it usually ranges from about $400 to $600. And like I said, things have been fluctuating quite a bit the last couple years. So if you're in the boat in that market to buy right now, we definitely can go over the fees that are happening right now. But just for a little estimate, you're looking at that for pretty much every inspection that you do. And so with the closing costs, like I said, they're just the fees at the end. When people say closing costs, it's when you're closing, your transaction closes in 30 days, 60 days, whatever you guys talk about and come to the conclusion. That's when that money is due, and you will have to pay for that at that time, and then the seller will pay for theirs at that time as well, and that's when they get their payout. You pay your fees and you get the keys to your home. So closing is the cost to purchasing your home that you pay at the end, and then whether it's escrow fees, title fees, all of those appraisal fees, all of that goes into that. And then also then it is closed, and when you close escrow, then unless there's some stipulation like the seller wants to wait 2 more days or something, but then you usually can get your keys and the property's yours, and that's like the happiest day. We get to hand people their keys and they get to start their new life in their beautiful home, and that makes us super, super happy. And so, yeah, you don't want any surprises. You want someone to be straightforward and transparent. That's what we do. That's what your professional should do. If you're using someone, please make sure that the people that you use are very knowledgeable. They're going to tell you and be very transparent with whatever's going on, because the changes that are happening, you need like a very, very professional, knowledgeable person to back you up. And because just like sellers need support and people there for them, buyers need that exact same things to avoid lawsuits and potentially harmful things that could be happening in your home. You need an expert to help guide you through that and to be by your side and to actually have your back. Have you be knowledgeable, they should be super knowledgeable, and it should definitely be a team and a partnership. So just keep that in mind as you move forward. So just one more thing I want to add to the closing costs. On the seller side, I did tell you a lot about kind of both sides, but on the seller side as well, they're going to cover their listing agent's commission, and then if they choose to, their buyer's agent commission. That's something that they may or may not choose to offer. And then any home repairs, maybe to get their house prepared or ready to put on the market. They also are covering the transfer tax fees, and then their mortgage payoff, if they have to pay off their mortgage. If you have any hero loans, like for air conditionings or different things, or solar, that's when they have to pay all of that out of their proceeds, and then they get what's left over, either automatically deposited or you can pick up a check. So I just wanted to cover a few different things that are on the seller side than on the buyer side, and so that pretty much covers closing costs for both sides. So now we're going to get into what is escrow. So escrow is a neutral third party. They are neutral between the buyer and the seller, and they're there to hold on to all the funds and all the documentation until the sale is finalized. If someone wants to change something, it goes through escrow, but the buyer and the seller and their agents have to agree. I mean, the buyer and seller, not the agents, but the agents are there to make sure that the buyer is okay with whatever's changing, and the seller side is there to make sure that whatever, you know, their client is, that we're all on the same page. We all agree. If something changes, it has to be in writing, and both parties have to sign for that. And then escrow can move forward with it as long as both parties agree to whatever changes are happening. And then obviously on the agent side, that we're making sure that there's documentation to put into the contract, or to put into the sale, to make sure that all of the contracts are also up to date with what the buyer and seller have changed or agreed upon. So there's a lot that goes into the contract side, but you know, if there's a change, there's always a contract or a form or something that needs to be put in place to make sure those changes are legal and they're binding, and then that both parties agree, and you have that in a contract or document. And so there's definitely they need to, it's there to put in place to make sure that the buyer and seller are on the same page, that they are both agreeing on everything, there's no surprises, and then it acts as like a safety net for both the buyer and the seller. So it's just a neutral third party that holds the documents, and they'll say, hey, we need this signed, we need this, as well as your agents might have transaction coordinators working with them that are getting documentation signed, or the agents themselves are. So it just makes sure that they have everything they need to make sure that it's going to be a success, and they work with title, and they work with lenders, they do all of it. It's a third party where kind of everybody goes to that third party to make sure that the deal is done, the sale is complete, it goes as smoothly as possible, and everybody's on the same page. So that's pretty much what it's at. At the end of the transaction, you'll have a notary, usually a mobile notary, but they can come to your home, and then you're going to sign all the documentations that are required, and those go into your title company and everything, and then everybody gets paid out, and your transaction for sure is fully closed at that point. So like I said, if you have a question for escrow, you can reach out to the escrow officer, and just like with us, if we tell you what escrow company is using, it's usually in the contracts as well, what title company, who the reps are that you'll be working with. Same thing for your homeowner's insurance, anybody, you can call and talk to any of those people, whether you're buyer, seller, agent, to make sure that all your questions are answered, that everyone's on the same page. But you want that neutral ground so that they don't say, he said, she said, ooh, that contract didn't get signed. They guide you to make sure all the processes are, and like I said, they work with title company, lenders, agents, yourself as a buyer or seller. And so it's just that neutral third party that, when you open escrow, you reach out to them and say, hey, we're opening a transactions. Here's the agreement. Here's the offer that we put in. It got accepted. Here's all the forms, and that's when the title company will come in as well. And lenders are reaching out to them too, to make sure that everything's moving along just the way that it should. So with your closing costs, they're just fees at the end for buyers and sellers to close out the transaction, so the buyer can, now that house is yours. Well, if you have a loan, it's technically yours, but you still got to pay off your loan to get that, to really have it be yours. But then the seller moves on and they have their proceeds. You paid and you have the house and the keys, and everyone moves on. And all of that, when you open escrow and say it's a 30-day escrow, a 45-day escrow, a 60-day escrow, 30 and 45 are very common, 30 days or 45 days. And then sometimes sellers will put extra things on, like, I need an extra 3 days after the close of escrow. So on 45 days from the date you sign, that all the parties sign, it would close, but then the seller needs 3 more days before you can move in. So there's sometimes little things like that, but you should know everything. Your agent should go through every contract, everything, so you're very clear. Everything's very transparent. You're knowledgeable. We're educating you through the whole process, and we're there on your side. And like I said, it's actually both sides. I really think you should get along with the seller's agent or the buyer's agent, work as a team. The client should be happy and understanding what's going on throughout the whole process. Your title company, your all the home inspectors and appraisals and your escrow company, it should all be a team, pleasant, smooth, and yes, it will get stressful. If any agent tells you, I'm going to have a stress-free, sell it for the best, and the no time flat, you can't ever guarantee that. I will never guarantee that. Some weird thing could happen or come up with something in your piping, or a job could fall through, or something could fall out. You can't help all of that. You can make sure you're aware of everything and you're clear and you're talking to everybody and communicating and making sure it's as smooth as it can be. And that if I'm out there with termite inspections and I'm putting wood in or moving furniture, that's okay, because we're all part of the same team and we're all on the same side, and we want you guys to win, whether buyer or seller. And like I said, if we love to provide value like this. So please, if you could subscribe to our channel and hit that bell, it really helps us to provide more of these videos, so it can provide value and help you through different things in any kind of a real estate situation. And we are always here if you ever want to reach out to talk to us personally, whether you're ready now or in 4 years, 5 years, 8 years. We like to be a resource and provide value for you. So going on, we are going to now give you a life hack. So these are fun. We like to add them out. Some of these things have really helped us too, to move things along. And today we are going to talk about eggs. Eggs? Yes, just in time for the holiday season, for Easter. But hard boiling eggs, sometimes it's like they're cracking, it's 45 minutes, it's an hour, some of them don't hard boil, and it's hot, and it's all you're washing this pan and that pan. And so a really cool life hack that I learned that's so much easier is you can hard boil eggs in a muffin tin in the oven. Life hack. I have tried this several times, especially during like Easter where I want to hard boil, or I want to hard boil, where I want to color eggs. It's so awesome because you can put like a couple racks in your oven and you can do more than one. So if you take a 12 count muffin tin, just like you would make cupcakes or muffins, you just take a regular full egg, you don't crack it, you don't do anything, you put them in just set the egg in each cup. There's no liners or anything. You just take the metal pan and you put, or ceramic, whatever you're using, you put the egg, one egg in each muffin cup. And then, or muffin slot, should I say, in the pan. And then you set the oven to about 325. You preheat it to 325. You set the muffin tin in the oven and you wait about 30 minutes. And sure enough, you have like perfectly hard boiled eggs. I was like floored when someone shared this life hack with me, and it is the easiest thing to do. You're not sweating, you're not waiting 20 minutes for the water to boil, things aren't cracking. So what you do is as soon as it's done, you're gonna put it in a cold water bath. You just put the eggs in a cold water bath. When they're cool, it is unbelievable. And when you peel them, like, they are perfectly hard boiled. It's insane. So please go try that. It's super fun, super easy. We will add the exact recipe below, but you take a muffin tin, you take 12 eggs, or if you want to do 2 dozen, you can use 2 different ovens, or you can use 2 different racks. You put them in the oven at 325 for 30 minutes, and then right after they go in an ice bath, and then in 5 minutes they're cool around there, and you can hard boil them, you can eat them, you can put them for meal planning, you can color them for Easter, all sorts of things. You can cut them up in a salad. So yeah, please, they're awesome for Cobb salads, but you can please try it because it will change the way you hard boil eggs. So we hope that helped. We're so happy to add some fun at the end of our videos. Thank you again for watching. We appreciate you all so much. And if you could please like, subscribe, and hit that bell, we'd so appreciate it. It helps us to help you and be there for you guys. If you have any questions or need anything, please email us, call us. We're there for you. We're a resource. If you need vendors, if you need lenders, we've got them for you. Just reach out. And also you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Vivid Lifestyle Realty. And you can also check us out on our website at vividlifestylerealty.com, where we have blogs and property searches for you. And if you need anything else, just reach out. We will see you on the next one.